Yesterday we completed the chapter Nawaqid al-Wudu, and today after Asr we went into a slight bit more of detail with regards to it. And inshallah today we wish to start with a new chapter, and that is Bab fi Ahkam al-Ghusl, and this is a chapter of the rulings of Ghusl. Now we mentioned the fact that if it be a Hadath al-Asghar, if it be a minor impurity, then it's a must the fact that the person, he makes wudu from that minor impurity. And we said the fact that the minor impurity occurs upon a person either when he goes to the bath or to toilet to urinate or defecate, or it be the fact that the person or it be a woman where she bleeds, or it be discharge. We said the fact that wudu becomes wajib upon the person and he has to make wudu. With that we said that the passing of the wind also is mujib al-wudu, where a person has to make wudu from that. We said also that there is khilaf ma bayn al-ulama with regards to ma yakhruju min al-badan, that which comes out of the jism or the body of the person. And we mentioned three things, and that was if a person was to vomit, or the person was to draw blood or to bleed. And this was ikhtilaf over the ulama, but the rajih from the muallif, hafidhahullah, he said the fact that the rajih is that there is no wudu to be done for that. But in min babul ihtiyat, if one wanted to be carrying wudu out, he may do so, and there's no haraj within that. We also said that that which breaks the wudu is the eating of camel meat. Camel meat is something also that makes mujib al-wudu. That if one was to eat camel meat, it would require that a person make wudu from that. Now we move on to the next chapter, and this is the chapter of al-ghusl. Now how is ghusl made? So we've understood prior to this al-ahkam al-tahara with regards to hadath al-asghar, and now we move on to the ahkam al-tahara min al-hadath al-akbar. So this is when a person is in a major impurity, then a person is required to make ghusl. And ghusl is a type of bath or a ritual bath, that which is taken to purify a person. Now what are the three major aspects due to which a person makes ghusl? First and foremost is janaba. Janaba means when a person is in a state of major impurity due to semen coming out of his body. The other thing is the fact that is hayd. When a woman goes through her monthly cycle, then it is required for the sister to make her ghusl after the period of the cycle finishes. The third reason due to which a person makes ghusl, and this is for the sisters, is when the bleeding stops after giving birth, then she is required to make a ghusl from that, then enter into a state of purity. And Allah says in the Quran, وَإِن كُنْتُمْ جُنُبًا فَطَّهَّرُوا, that if you are in a state of junub, janaba, then make sure of the fact that you seek to become pure from that. Keep in mind the fact that making a ghusl, having a bath from these major impurities, is not something new. Rather, this is also something that which the people of the Jahiliyyah used to practice. And it's recorded the fact that this practice has been carried on from the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Now the muallif, the author rahimahullah or hafidhahullah, he mentions the fact that there are 6 things due to which that make a person makes it a wajib upon a person to make a ghusl from. We mentioned the three, and the three that we mentioned are the common ones. But here we will mention the six that the author mentions. And the first one he says is خروج المني من مخرجه من الذكر أو الأنثى. So the first one is the fact that the person, when he relieves himself of semen, whether this be a discharge from the person, meaning a male or a female, know the fact that he has to make ghusl from that. And he says إما أن يخرج في حال اليقظة, whether this person be in a state of awakeness or he be in a state of sleeping. Meaning if he is sleeping, then we say that the person is muhtalim, the fact that he went through an ihtilam, where he had a wet dream. And this would require the fact that the person makes ghusl from that. Now, the ulama have placed down with regards to a person who may be sick, meaning he has an illness where the semen, this fluid comes out of his body on a regular basis, meaning he cannot control it. So he is awake, and whilst he's awake, he goes through this period where the semen comes out of his body and it's not in his control. And with regards to this is an exception to the rule, where the ulama have said that for every salah he should make wudu. For every salah he should make wudu, due to this being a medical problem. And if a person, even the person who has this problem, if he was to, if this fluid was to come out, the semen was to come out due to desires and due to having relations and so forth, then a person would be required to make wudu from that, even although it be a sickness that he has. We move on to the next part, the second thing, that which requires a person to make ghusl. And just prior to that, if a person, for example, is asleep, and whilst he is asleep, the fact that he does not know whether or not he had a wet dream or he did not, then he should check his undergarments, and if there is any athar, any effect of semen on it, then the person should have a bath from that. The second thing that makes a mujib al-ghusl is when a person goes forth towards his wife to have relationship. Upon this time, when the two private parts meet, it becomes mujib al-wudu. This is a second reason due to which ghusl becomes wajib. So when the two parts meet, then it becomes mujib al-ghusl. But if the two parts do not meet, and there is no coming out of the semen, then there is no ghusl for the person. But upon the two parts meeting, the ghusl becomes wajib. The third reason due to which a person has to make ghusl from is when the person becomes a Muslim. So if a person who is a non-Muslim and he wishes to come into the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal, then know the fact that upon him is also to make ghusl from that. And this is again, this is a scholarly difference amongst opinions with regards to whether or not he should make his ghusl or not. And the opinion that the mu'allif, the author, has taken is the fact that to keep together the evidences from the Quran and the Sunnah is best the fact that the person, when he does become a Muslim, that he makes ghusl upon that time. The fourth place, or the fourth time in which a person, everything's okay. It may be a touchy topic for some people, but generally these are things that need to be known. So inshallah, the fourth thing that the person makes a ghusl wajib upon him is when the person dies. So when the person dies, the ghusl is made upon the mayyit. And this ghusl is not made by the person, rather it's made by the people that are around him, from family or friends or those who carry out the ghusl. And this is part of the ahkam al-janaiz, from the rulings of janaiz, and inshallah we will cover that in a later stage. The fifth thing is when a woman finishes her monthly cycle, then it becomes wajib al-ghusl. And then the sixth thing is when the woman, her bleeding stops from after giving birth, then it's also wajib al-ghusl from that. So these are the 6 things that we mentioned that the person must make ghusl from. So these are important. Tab'an, this is also an amana between oneself and Allah, the fact that the person, when he does carry out acts of ibadah, the likes of salah, or the likes of recitation of the Quran, or the likes of dhikr, or any other type of ibadah, that the person cannot carry it out except that he's in a state of purification. So the person must be in a state of purity. And when he does carry out his purification, like I said, this is an amana between himself and Allah, for no one's to see him except from Allah making this ghusl. Nobody knows the fact that whether or not he made his ghusl correctly or not except from Allah. So this amana should be carried out in a sound and a proper manner. Now, how is ghusl made? This is, do we have time? 5 minutes. ولا الآن ولا غدا. Khalas, we'll go through it very briefly, and inshallah we'll cover the masail regarding ghusl inshallah tomorrow. The sifatul ghusl al-kamil, the how to make ghusl. And this is important, and the first and foremost is the fact that the person, it's upon him the fact that he says, he makes an intention in his heart. So intention must be made in his heart. What's the intention? The intention is the fact that he wishes to purify himself from the major impurity, from janaba. The second thing to do is the fact that the person, he within himself, or he mutters upon his tongue, Bismillah. So to mutter or to say within himself, Bismillah. That's the second thing to do. The third thing is the fact that the person, he must wash his private parts. And the reason to do that is any filth, that which is attached to the body, should be removed. Then after that, the person moves on doing the fourth thing, and that is to wash his hands. This is the ritual of making a ghusl bath. So the person, he washes his hands 3 times. Then what does he do? He moves on and he makes wudu kamil. He makes wudu as he would normally, except the fact that he does not wash his feet. So what does he do? Again, he makes the intention. Secondly, he says Bismillah, he mutters it. Thirdly, he moves on and he washes his private parts of that which is attached to his body. Then he moves on and he washes his hands. Once he's washed his hands, he rinses his mouth, he rinses his nose, he washes his face, he washes his arms, first to the right, then his left up to the elbows, and then he takes water. He could take water into in three handfuls. He takes water once and he pours it over his head, the second time, third time, making sure the fact that the water reaches into the roots of the hair. Or it be the fact that the shower, alhamdulillah, we have the blessing of having a shower. You could put your head underneath it once and wash your head completely, and then second time wash it completely, third time, and then once he's done that, then he passes water over the rest of the body. First starting with the right, so he passes water over the whole body, and then he passes the water over the left of the body, and then he uses the action of tadliq. And tadliq is done, this is an action which is used to move the hand over the body to make sure the fact that the water reaches every part. So making sure the fact that he gets it in between his arms, he gets it behind his knees, he gets it in any hidden areas, the likes of the armpits or the behind the ears, making sure the fact that the water has reached every part of the body as well as the hair. And then he generally passes water over everywhere, and then he moves on to washing his feet. And from that he has completed his ghusl from that. But let us keep in mind the fact that when it comes to women, the fact that when it comes to their nifas, when it comes to after giving birth, their purity after that, that they must wash or have ghusl from that by making sure the fact that even the knots or the braids that they have in their heads, or the hair, sorry, that they should be opened up. They should be opened up and make sure the fact that the water is reaching every part of the hair. And even when it comes to hayd, when it comes to the monthly cycle, within those cases a woman should also open up her hair and make sure the fact that she washes her hair properly. But when it comes to janaba, when it comes to janaba, this is not a condition for a woman where she has to open her braids. Wa sallallahu wa sallim ala nabina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Jazakumullahu khayran.